Guys, this is it. I'm on camera. Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. Welcome back to the Superdorf Show, brought to you by Ship Your Reptiles. Now, if you haven't heard of them yet, first of all, is this your first time watching the show? Because they are the OGs in reptile shipping, and I can tell you right offhand that you can go with no better option than Ship Your Reptiles. Chad Brown and all the people who are out there, thank you so much for sponsoring this episode. Now, let's get into something a little crazier, because today there are two hosts coming at you. One of them we know and love, and the other one we also know and love. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Garrett Hartle and G.I. Joseph. Oh.
Welcome, me.
I was waiting
and my buddy.
I was waiting to see what you were going to say about me. One of them we know and love.
I was wondering where we were going with this too. I was like, oh man, it's getting
I
harsh
expected
tonight.
something a little bit more creative out of you, Jeremy.
Actually, I liked it. It threw you off completely.
It totally did.
It totally
It
threw
definitely
you off.
made
It
me
was
laugh.
great.
So I guess
Loved
well
it.
done.
Good job,
Yeah.
Jeremy.
Hey,
You're the man.
congratulations to
And
you
I'll say
guys
thank
making.
you to Jeremy, the man that makes it happen behind the scenes.
So, guys, today is a special day. This is a day that is kind of like, not your. It's not your average.
Day,
Yeah, it's not
but
your average.
different.
It is. So, let's just tell the people what they want. We got a new snake morph that our audience is about to name. Is that right?
Yeah, so this is actually a pretty big deal. What happened was I was actually supposed to go teach like an intro to Mendelian genetics at my daughter Riley's 7th grade class, but it was for the whole school.
That's
So
cool.
we set up in a library and we had class after class after class, about 40 minutes at a time, which is pretty quick time frame to teach Mendelian genetics.
I've done it.
And then they rotate through really quick. So fortunately, the kids over there were pretty smart. Good job, guys.
It's probably due to her. Honestly,
it was Riley's.
It was
teaching.
Riley teaching everybody.
We'll see how smart you guys think they are at the end of this live stream when you hear some of their name suggestions. So here's the deal. I wanted to make Mendelian genetics interesting to the kids, right? So instead of your smooth peas and wrinkled peas, yellow peas, green peas, we brought snakes. Now, this just so happened to happen for this junior high that we've got some house snakes. What you guys are seeing here is actually an entire clutch of baby house snakes. And these hatched 2 days before the presentation. This is the cool thing about having clutches hatching like every day, right?
Oh no, their egg skins are coming off right now.
Yeah, they're having their first shed like
Their
tonight
first
on the
sheds
live.
are right now.
So they're still really new. But we had 3 different recessive genetics in this clutch. And so I was teaching, they'd seen the simple square. Should I show them, Jeremy? Break down the simple square.
Break down the simple square.
All right, so you guys know, I'm going to give you
I'm gonna keep playing with Pablo.
the micro lesson, Pablo. The pink one's name is Jenny. So anyway, you guys are used to naming a snake. We have this particular snake is named for tonight, but you got something a little bit special. With the help of these junior high students, and we'll explain how that works in a minute, you're actually going to name a morph. So you think about this. If you got a spider ball python and a pastel ball python, you put them together, what are they called?
A bumblebee.
A bumblebee.
I learned this today.
I was this many days old.
I was this many days old.
So the bumblebee is the name of the new combo. Well, 2 days before the thing hatched, 2 days before my classroom presentation, this thing hatched, and it's a completely new combo of house snakes. So we get to name it tonight on the live, and for all of perpetuity,
All of perpetuity.
someone in South
It's also
Africa
a new
hatches
word.
one of these. If they were being polite, they'll have to refer to it as the name that we made because I think we're the first one. Now, this would go with a caveat. If we're not the first one, you guys can scream at me and I'll make up to it. Jeremy, can you see my chalkboard over here? Semi see it. Hold on, I can fix it. Fix it my own self.
There we go.
I can fix it for you. Okay, can you see it now?
Yeah, perfect.
All right, so what's happening is you've got meiosis as a split. So you have chromosomes. They look like this, one from mom, one from dad. And in that chromosomes, there's different locations, like the rungs of a ladder. And different mutations on these locations will create different results. So with this case, we have hypomelanistic, T positive albino, and a T negative albino. 3 different locations on these alleles. When they split, we represent them like this. Let's say we're going to look at the spot that is A. That's the first spot. Second spot we're going to look at is B. Second spot we're going to look at will represent with a C. Numbers are arbitrary. But if you have big A, this is how a wild type animal looks. There's no mutation on it.
Right.
But if you find the world's first, let's say, T-negative albino, it's mutated. So it looks like little a, like
Right.
this.
Yep. Following.
Okay. Now,
7th
if I
grade
want to
level.
know what happens if I breed my mutated albino to a wild type, I need to make what's called a punnett square. And let's see, I got to be careful about how I do this size-wise. All right. I'm going to kind of do this. Here we go. You got 4 different possibilities. What you do is when you split, mom could throw this chromosome or this chromosome through a process called meiosis. Are you tracking? All right. I know I'm going super quick here. But let's say it's big A or big A is what mom has. Little a is what dad has. So you're going to break it up onto this square like this and just make like a little graph. Little a, little a. He can only throw big A, only little A's. This one can only throw big A's. So when we come in here and we write all these out, we get this combination, right? It's a big A and a little a. 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 You see that? Big A, little a.
Mm-hmm.
The way
Yep.
that adds up. You know what these are called, right?
Tell me.
Well, they're not homozygous.
They're
are
heterozygous.
They're heterozygous for albino.
Yes.
So let's chase this forward a generation.
Gotta
And to
follow
keep it
along
interesting, I told them about how much this stuff would cost. So let's say, for example, like the last new recessive mutation that I brought in house snakes set me back $5,000. Now, if I bred that and I made hets, I'd probably sell pairs of hets. I don't know, maybe $5,000 a pair, and they could try to make them, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you start doing all these combos, it gets pretty cool. So now we've got hets. They look like big A, little a, right? We're going to breed 2 of those together. Fast forward a generation. Look what happens. Very different results. So big A, little a, little a. When we do this out, and I have my girls do this at the junior high. This is, just a Mendelian genetic representation here. So we got big A, little a. Here I have a little a and a big A. This. And voila, little a down here. This is how we get our statistics and our probabilities on what happens, like if you run a Morph calculator. So the little a is my next generation albino. I made one, only 1 in 4.
1 in 4.
The rest of these, I got 2 hets and 1 normal.
Yep.
But you can't tell what's a het.
Correct.
Because this is recessive.
This is where we get 66% hets.
Exactly. You guys follow? This is what I asked the 7th graders too. 7th graders, raise your hands in the chat. Are any of you guys here? I know a lot of you guys wanted to hear about it. Jeremy, we got any 7th graders in the chat?
Not yet. I'll let you know.
Raise your hand, guys. I want to hear. Do you remember this? So they're like, yeah, Mr. Hartle, whatever. No big deal. And I said, well, what happens if I want to make a hypoalbino? This is something called a sunglow or a hibino. At this point, some people call them hibino. I said other people call them hibinos. I like to call them sunglows. Now we have some reptile politics and controversy.
Oh boy.
That's the way it goes, right?
Right.
And so I asked them, I said, who likes hibinos? I said, I like sunglows better. Who likes hibinos better? And the people that raised their hand got kicked out of the class because I was in charge.
Raise their hand.
Raise their hand in the chat.
We got one in the
Get
We
out.
got one 7th
Kick
grader
you out.
or one that likes
Oh,
albinos.
he's raising his hand. Yeah.
Who likes
Answer the
albinos?
question right, because if you like albinos, you're out of the chat.
I'm
Jeremy,
gone. Bye.
Kick him out.
All right.
You like albinos, huh?
It sounds funny.
All right, so check this out. If I want to
Sounds
make
less professional.
If I want to make a hypoalbino, hypo is a B trait.
Okay.
So a hypo over here would look like it's not an albino, it's wild type on that side, but it's a hypo. And then an albino, I have to blow my traits out. Remember, I got little a is an albino, but it would be big B because it's not mutated.
Okay.
So now I got to break all this out. So here's where I'm going to go fast. Instead of just adding one column, I have to go like this. My punnett square gets 4 times the size. It's this big all of a sudden, so that I can go big A, little b, and it would look like this. You got an A and a B on each,
All right.
like
So
that.
I don't math in public, but I feel like right now we're probably at a 1 in 16 chance of hitting everything we need.
If you put 2 hets together, so first you got to breed the hypo to the albino, you get all double hets.
Correct.
Next generation, fast forward, big A, big B, little b. You write that all out here. All of a sudden, that's your 1 in 16.
So 1 in 16.
And that's why, because you got a 16 square grid. Now, here's where it got crazy. Guys, tonight we're going to be naming a 3-gene combo. You don't add one more row of squares to get a 3-gene combo. You have to 4 times the size of the grid again, like this.
Holy crap.
And this is where we started blowing their mind. You want to know what I was really proud of? I think you guys should be proud of this too.
They can math in public.
Kira and Riley did this. They filled the whole thing out.
Really? That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so big
Proud
A,
dad moment.
little B, then you got C's in there, so you got an ABC, ABC, ABC. So Joe, you're gonna math in public here. Let's say I bred. Now I took, let's say, a hibino or a sunglow, and I bred it to my other form of albino. So I got triple hets.
Okay.
I breed my triple hets together. Triple het to triple het. We actually did this math earlier because you were talking about your Motley double het Indo caramels.
Yeah. Motley double het Indo caramels.
Yeah,
that mutt breeding.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times 8 is
64.
64. So if I bred triple het to triple het, I'll tell you, the one up here is the only one that's going to have no genes mutated, all big. And there's only one all the way down on this corner that's going to have all 3 mutations. 1 in 64. So here's the really incredible part. Oh, by the way, money. 5,000 for this, 5,000 for that, right? 5,000 for this. It doesn't equal 15,000 when you put all these things together. Because you went from 1 in 4 chance to 1 in 16 chance, now to a 1 in 64. That snake is 64, well, whatever it is, many times rarer than that original mutation will ever be, and so hard to produce. So these double, triple recessives get really expensive.
So we've got a clutch of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There was this whole clutch, guys, was 8. So we hit out of 8. We got 1 out of that 1 in 64.
We hit it. We hit the
hit
all 3.
1.
Now, statistically, we would have to breed these double hets 8 years in a row.
8?
To get 64 snakes to get one of each of the possible combinations. So, especially that rare one. 8 years.
How rare is this
Or 8
guy?
clutches. Well, I mean, it depends on what all his hets are, because he's boss het for everything. But just as a hypo, they're actually rarer than either of the albino mutations.
People were saying they weren't ready for your genetics lesson.
I'm sorry, guys. It was a lot.
Get ready.
It was a lot.
You got to stay prepared. Stay strapped. What are you doing?
I just wanted to show you what we went over with the 7th graders.
It's
now,
not
here's
all
the
about
deal.
fun and games.
Yeah. So there was 2 fun things. They got to guess how much money they could make as a snake breeder, and they were pretty good. Like, because they were like, "Oh, this snake should be worth like 75 grand," and I was like, "No, he's going to actually pay 75 grand." So you get like a more realistic price, but you better get me something nice because it's potentially 8 years worth of breeding for me.
That's a lot.
For sure.
For sure. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
So they put it all together, and then I let them come up with a list of names for this new combo, and we're going to go over that at the end. We have a special guest tonight who's going to narrow it down to 3, his top favorite 3.
True.
But using all the names that the 7th graders suggested, he's going to pick his top favorite 3. And then you guys in the chat at the end of this episode are going to vote for 1, 2, or 3. Jeremy's going to tally it up.
I'm going to do it.
Tonight, we will find out whose name wins from the junior high suggestions. And from now on, we can't call this new, so it's a T positive, T negative hypo, right? We'll get into that. But we can't call it a hibino or a sunglow plus or whatever. We got to call it whatever's voted for here tonight. Us and the rest of the world, because them's the rules.
Awesome.
That's the rules.
Awesome, guys. Let's bring out our special guest. Joe, I'm going to let you have the honors of...
All right, guys. We are bringing out a special guest. He is a guest tonight. He's going to be a guest you see around more often. Y'all welcome Justin Hawkins. What's up, buddy?
The crowd goes wild.
The crowd does go well. And listen.
Welcome to the show. Have a snake. You can help this one shed.
All right, thanks.
All right. So, what's going on, man? How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
Oh, I cannot complain. It's kind of weird. I'm like playing with a house snake, and everybody on there has to be like looking at Joe, like, why is he like actually enjoying this house snake?
What's weird is I'm not playing with a house snake.
It is kind of
I'm
weird.
gonna get the only other morph.
It is kind of weird,
3
but
single
like
morphs.
me and Pablo are connected right now. It's kind of.
Is it even a male?
I don't know. Does it have to be? Did you just like what was that?
No, you assumed.
Assumed its gender?
gender?
I did not. I just assigned a name.
Oh,
I didn't
okay.
assume a gender. I assigned a name.
Mine looks
But he's super cool. Anyway, Justin, what's happening, buddy? Back to you. Don't want to take the spotlight away from you with these cool snakes, man, but we do have to name one of these. So anyway, guys, so Justin is coming on. He is part of the team now, so I want y'all to welcome him. He is coming on as a sales associate, and we're expanding the sales program finally. I get some help, right, for a little while, so that's going to be cool.
And he's going to be narrowing it down to 3 possibilities for this world's first new combo.
So no pressure.
Yep.
No pressure. Your first night on the show. Don't screw it up, okay? Don't screw it up. That's all I'm saying. But guys, so like if you hit up, Morph Market, the email, text, anything like that, you might talk to me. You might be talking to Justin. So if you want to know, just ask. We'll tell you who you're talking to. No
you
secrets
won't be
here.
talking to Jeremy. He does not want to talk.
Jeremy, do you not want to talk to them?
Jeremy, what's
I didn't say that.
He is like on the spot. He's like, "What'd I do? I didn't know. I'm not prepared." All right. So listen, Justin. So here's the deal, right? We want to get to know you a little bit. We want our people, our fans,
Yeah, you guys wanna
our
get to
friends,
know
our family to get to know you too. So a lot of people, you ask them like, "Who are you?" And then they tell you, "This is what I do." And I don't like that. I don't care what you do. Even though I know what you do because you're here. But we want to get to know you. So the 3 of us have got a round of lightning questions, right? So they're going to get ready to come in 3, 2, and 1. As soon as I say 1, look at that camera and start answering questions. We are going to start with Jeremy. You ready?
I don't know. I don't.
2.
Wait a second.
What?
Has the audience seen Justin? Just the way this camera is. I don't know if they've actually
they-
seen his
oh,
face
man.
yet.
Have they not seen your face?
Oh, there we go. It zoomed out. Okay.
There
We got it.
he
Yeah.
is.
Okay.
There we
We're
go.
now ready for
Oh.
our lightning round. Sorry.
So I've been
I didn't mean to
I've been
interrupt.
referencing like an empty space.
Yeah.
Or punnett square.
For a little bit.
Square.
For a
This
little
is
bit.
Justin,
yes.
our
This
new
is
sales
Justin,
associate.
our new Punnett
little
Square. Listen.
It's a big one. You're gonna want to get to know him.
All right, do we
Okay,
have
we figured
Justin
it out.
now?
We figured it out. Yeah, we got it.
Okay, we got it. We got it. All right.
Yep. Sounds good.
So, you ready?
Let's
Yes.
go.
3, 2, 1.
Justin, coffee or tea?
T.
Dog or cat?
Dog.
Last book you read.
The Voice of Reason by
Favorite-
Chael Sonnen.
Favorite genetic morph?
I'm Molly Golden Child.
Biggest pet peeve?
Dirty dishes left in the sink.
Celebrity crush?
Miranda Lambert.
Dream job. Answer correctly.
I'm living it right now.
Oh, boy.
There we go.
I
What's
think
your
they call that
non-reptile
hashtag
hobby?
living
I've had a lot, but
You're right.
horror movies and collectibles.
Oh, man.
And then
You
last
got, like,
last
you
one
got
for me. Do you believe in aliens? Yes or no?
Yes.
Surprising skill.
Horror knowledge.
Okay.
Horror
All
movie
right.
knowledge.
Is it? I'm the last one?
I got one too.
Oh, do you?
Jeremy just skipped me one.
Sorry,
Oh,
guys.
is that what happened?
Hate to see
Okay.
it.
Listen, when you die, where do you want to haunt?
A reptile facility.
Thomas is convinced there's some folks already doing that upstairs. You can join the party.
Yeah, I can join them.
That's the after party. All right. Do you ever have any reoccurring nightmares? What would be your worst?
I don't. Just sometimes, I guess I do, just falling. I feel like I'm falling, and I wake up and just jump.
Somebody Google it and find out what is that when you feel
There's
like you're falling. What does
that's
it mean?
definitely a common one.
Yeah.
Do you see the Hat Man?
No.
You've never seen the Hat Man? Do any
No.
of y'all see the Hat Man? Do y'all know what I'm talking about? You know the Hat Man? It's a thing. Look it up.
That's-
Somebody in the chat knows what the Hat Man is, and they
I
have
just call
definitely
him
seen it.
Dad.
That's wild. But I could see if your dad was standing silhouetted in a room with his cowboy hat on, I
I've
could
never
definitely
seen
see
him
it.
without a cowboy hat.
I haven't either. Now that you say that. Every time he's around, he is that guy that's literally walking through the airport in boots and a buckle and a duster.
There's
and
got to be something more practical, Dad. Come
For
on.
real.
Come
Put some hey dudes on. You know what I'm saying? Take
Yeah.
it easy.
Yeah.
Relax a little.
He did pass on his epic mustache.
Yeah. All right. We'll call it that. Cool.
So Justin, we want to hear a little bit from history on you here real quick. So what was how'd you first learn about Reach Out Reptile? I'd love to hear your guys' answers in the chat too. If you have an interesting how'd you first hear about Reach Out Reptiles, or you can remember, drop in the chat, and Jeremy, you can read through a couple. see where all the differences. Go ahead.
Yeah, when we were living in Missouri years ago, I was doing a lot of YouTube on reticulated pythons, and I came across the YouTube channel for Reach Out Reptiles and watched a ton of the videos. So that's where I learned about Reach Out Reptiles.
Were you looking for retics and like retics or superdors in particular, or like just any retics?
At the time, just mainlands, and then I came across Reach Out, and then I was like, "This is amazing."
Okay.
Sidebar. What part of Missouri?
Springfield, Republic
I'm from
area.
there. I'm from there.
I'm from there. You guys have a lot of commonalities.
It's kind of like, what is it, the JFK and Abraham Lincoln thing, where they go back. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, I'm from there, he moved there, he's from here, I moved here. It's really weird. His story's pretty similar. Like, his is YouTube, mine was Facebook. We've all heard my story, the little sun tiger on the beans.
YouTube didn't exist when he got into Superdor.
Ah. Says the gray in my beard, right? But it's kind of weird. It is a very similar story with these slight differences, and that's like you were pointing it out earlier, and I was thinking about it. I'm like, man, you see this come up on Facebook all the time about JFK and was it Abraham Lincoln? I think is the two that are just, it's like the opposites.
So Joe, what year did you buy your first Reach Out Reptiles articulated?
2017.
From who?
You.
I was still doing sales back then.
Yeah.
All right, Justin, what year did you buy your first Reach Out Reptiles reptile?
2022.
And from who?
G.I. Joe.
Bam!
The circle of life.
Y'all see how it's going down? It's a circle.
And
it's
now
triangle.
you can send your inquiries to info@reachoutreptiles.com and maybe buy one from Justin.
And then
you better
in
start
a few years,
snakes, though,
you could be the new sales associate.
Yeah. Please do.
Please do, so I can be permanent.
There you go.
That's it. We'll take all the help you can get. All right. Good times. Okay, cool. So we're actually going to dig a little bit more into this on our Patreon after party. So if you guys don't know what that is, check out the link in the description below and join us there. We'll hang out. We got some special
stories
announcements, some stories. I think it's going to be a fun one. So it's going to be historic.
Joe has found a baby house snake that he likes.
This is a historic live
This is a historic live right now because this dude hasn't left me alone. He is so cool.
All right.
Jeremy,
what's up? What's next?
What's up, Garrett?
I don't know.
We never just talk about how we're doing it anymore.
How are you doing, Jeremy?
How are you guys doing? All right, well, if you want to get back on this show, let's talk a little bit about this more.
We need to name it, right?
Absolutely.
Do you have a clip so that these guys can see it? I think we filmed it because there's no way our snake.
So, I came prepared. I got a close-up clip of this new morph. Show it off.
All right.
So we can kind of talk this over, guys. Describe this morph while they're looking at it.
Yeah. So I mean, the big thing is you've got two albinos on one. It's like double recessive, double albino, and hypo. So the sides of it you can see are all bleached out white, real crazy. Got some contrasting, very vibrant brown speckling down the back. And then this is probably more of just like a bloodline thing. But look how it's got a pencil thin stripe down the back with 2 rows of dots going down the side. You see
I definitely think it's a bloodline thing because I see it in this guy too. You see it in some of these, so I would definitely agree with you there.
These guys have something in them that's a new locality called the racerback, and it makes them a little bit bigger. Yeah, it gives them some special sauce. And the striping, like that quad stripe look, although this one's all broken.
You know how I feel about that. I've been Team Ashley from the get-go, and this dude's winning me over.
It looks like it, doesn't it? So, yeah. I mean, there's no such thing as a white-sided, but the hypo on the albinos, it reduces the pattern and pulls that white right up. So it's pretty cool. I think it's going to end up being a white snake with red spots and a red stripe down the center.
I think it's going to be...
Because they get more intense. Deeper albino colors. Yeah.
For sure.
Now that we've all had a chance to look at it, I'm going to pull up a quick... Now that we've had a quick minute to look at it, I'm going to pull up a quick photo of what all the 7th graders wrote down for possible morph names. And then from there, Justin actually picked his top 3. We'll talk about that.
Oh, I got to read them all out. You guys are going to like these.
Yeah.
I got a photo here, too.
So I'll pull that up and you can read it aloud.
What?
So here's that name. Okay.
Okay.
Names for the morph.
Are you guys ready? This is where we find out.
Oh,
how
wait.
smart.
Jeez, don't do that. Golly.
This
Morning,
is-
brother.
Sorry, Ashley. All right, so this is where we actually find out how smart these 7th graders are.
Are you telling me I was giving them too much credit earlier?
I don't know. We're gonna find out. You guys be the judge. How many of you guys are in the comments section? So this first name I thought was a little inappropriate, but it was the teacher that mentioned this one. So again, this is not the name of the snake. One of the 7th graders happened to name her Jenny.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so her name is Jenny, but we're naming the
World's
Morph.
biggest villain.
Is it?
Jenny? Yeah, that's the name of the world's biggest villain.
Following.
That's fine. I was just letting you know.
Okay.
I'm not going to get into it. We got to keep going.
All right. So here are the suggestions. These are rapid
Let's
fire.
go.
Here we go. Nudie, White Sunglow, Pinky Mablinky, The Pink Glass, Mr. Sun, Cletus, Strawberry, Mr. Clean, Gluten, Dustin Biddle. We've got Butterbean, Amir, Gross, Baguette, Salmon, Uncooked Pasta, Silver Gloss, The Pale Glow, The Sigma, LeBron, Mr. Clean again, The DOT, Beethoven, Plinko, Peach Heart, Blue Bean, Mango Tango, Sean, Jelly Bean, The Jalen Hearts, Mozart, Pango, John Pork, The Glorious King of Ibonbon?
Itchy Bon Bon.
Maybe. The Mechaniac, Brainiac, Sunshine. Some of these I can't read, guys. Low Taper Fade, Salmon Glow, Zeal Pangea. I think I got Pango already. So there we go. Glowheart.
Blowheart.
This one. Clearheart.
Isn't that your writing?
No.
Oh.
And Cupid. All right.
There was
So
a-
we need to narrow these down to 3, and then it's your guys' job in the chat to decide the world's fate and what we're all going to have to call this new morph, because it's more than a sun glow. It's more than a hibino.
Justin,
It's a hibiglow.
do you remember the 3 that you chose?
Yeah, absolutely. After looking at it, I chose Pinky Mablinky, Pink Glass, and Cletus.
Oh, boy.
So these 3 are your choices.
Hey, you 7th graders, put the names of the kids in the chat there that pick these names, because that's...
They shall live in infamy
It's
for the rest of
already
the
getting
world.
interesting before we even know the final. That top 3 is quite a list.
So
Let
guys,
that thing disappear.
right
I'm
next
not-
to each of the names is a number. Vote
He's
for
gonna
whatever
know
name
me.
you want using the number in front of it, okay?
Okay, so they're gonna put in the chat a number 1, a number 2, or a number 3.
All right.
I'm gonna tally them up, and we're gonna decide a winner today.
All right. What are your predictions?
Well, knowing our family,
Your
and the
vo-
Reach Out for Reptiles group of people, I'm going to say they're going to have at least a little bit of sense of humor, and they're going to go with Pinky Mablinky.
That's a pretty good one.
But, I mean, looking at it, I think the Pink Glass will be...
Oh, told you he's gonna escape, man. These
He
guys
ain't
are
gonna escape.
paratroopers. Which one would
Just
you
like me.
Which one would you pick? Not that your vote counts, because it's the people's vote.
It's the people's
Right.
vote.
Yeah, I think Pink Glass is going to get it, but I'm rooting for Cletus.
Cletus.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. The Cletus. Brother. How are we doing?
Golly,
over
they're
here,
going to know it
Jenny?
was named in America.
People were claiming you sandbagged it by giving 2 an unserious answer. But yeah, right now I'm calling it. It looks like Pink Glass won by a landslide.
By a landslide.
That's good.
I got
The
13
Pink
votes.
Glass.
13 votes for Pink Glass and only 6 for 3, none for number 2. So none for Cletus. Sorry.
None for
None for
Cletus.
Cletus.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry,
You know,
Justin.
You
got
try.
close.
You try.
Hey, you
know.
got within the top 3.
Yep.
Congratulations.
Just like Peyton.
Pulled that one
Manning.
out.
Just like Peyton.
All right,
Manning.
guys, the Pink Glass it is. Congratulations to our 7th grade class. This is going to be awesome. Everybody has to call it the Pink Glass.
That's pretty cool.
Whenever someone says, hey, that's a terrible name, I'll just say, we operate at the 7th grade level over here. But at least you guys know better how to do a tri-hybrid punnett square than most of our audience. So, pretty cool. Fun way to teach genetics. Hopefully you guys learned a thing or two. I had to rewind and watch that video a couple times. I think we have a few other videos on.
Couple,
You guys can
couple,
watch.
some old schools.
But if you guys want to hang with us and talk about the pink glass, Justin, and everything else going on around here, we'll see you on the Patreon after party.
This guy hang out. He's getting tired.
Yeah. Pink glass too. Look at, you can actually see its heart inside, not just its heart. Look by its lungs, you can see veins.
That's insane.
So I mean,